Hi, Remy here and welcome back. In this video, I'll be doing Klipper firmware upgrade, backup and rollback. Please note, this method is for manual Klipper setup and not for Kaya setup. Command used in this video will be listed in the description below. So why upgrade? Maybe bug fix or new features, and rollback? Maybe the new upgrade is buggy. In my case, I had to roll back twice. When I first updated to commit 475, it was giving this error which says internal error on command, bad mesh calibrate. So I had to roll back to the previous working commit, wait for a while to see if there is new update after this, and then switch to the new update. And the second time when I updated to 514 commit, I had uneven bad mesh. So this case also I had to roll back to the previous commit. In both case, I know it was the exact commit problem because I had no other configuration addition or removing. So there was no change from my side other than firmware upgrade. So whenever I do a change, I have to ensure that I do one change at a time and see if everything is working or not. And accordingly, you can roll back depending on the type of error or issue that you are facing. My setup is based on CAN bus. If you need to see a step-by-step guide for standard or CAN bus setup, please check my previous videos, link in the description. Whenever you do Klipper firmware upgrade or downgrade, ensure that the firmware is same on the host and all the MCUs as a best practice. Not necessary, but it is good to have. What I mean to say is this. My host version is running on version 13.0-540. So this version is same on the Toolhead board and also on the main MCU. So your host must always be on a higher version than the Toolhead board or the main MCU. So let's say if you downgraded your host, so now it is running on 540. So if you later see that this version is giving problem and you downgrade it, so let's say 500, and you forget to downgrade your Toolhead board and the main MCU, then this will fail. It will throw an incompatibility error. So in that case, you'll have to downgrade also the Toolhead board and the main MCU. When you upgrade your host, so let's say from 540 to 550, in that case, not necessary that you need to upgrade the Toolhead board and the main MCU. If it throws an error saying that the version is too old, then you need to upgrade. But as I said, as a best practice, it is good to have the same version on the host, Toolhead board, and the main MCU. When I say backup, I won't be backing up the firmware from the MCUs or keeping a copy of the firmware as it's not required. Rather, I'll create a branch referring to the commit ID. Now let's identify the commit ID. So here's the version. It says V0.13.0-540-G57C280C96. So the last one after that G is the commit ID. This string after G, this is the commit ID. So we need this to create the branch. Now let's create a branch. For that, I will copy the version number, that is this particular string, and I'll show you in the text editor first. So you paste it here. To create a branch, you need to use the git command, that is git checkout -b, the branch name, and at the end, the commit ID. So the syntax for git checkout -b branch name. So the branch name can be anything, any random string, not necessary to be the exact version number, but I follow this standard. I keep the exact version number as the branch name so that it is easy for me to refer it later. And last is the commit ID. So once you have this, you can copy this string, go to the Klipper repository, and then you can do the checkout. Now I'm into the Klipper repository. So git branch, and these are the list of branches that I have. So now I will paste the previous command that I had copied to create the new branch from this particular commit. So enter. This gives me an error because I have already created a branch with this name. So let me delete this. To delete a branch, you have to ensure that you are not in that particular branch. Otherwise, you won't be able to delete. So you have to make sure that you are in a different branch to delete the branch that you want. In my case, I'm currently in the master branch, which is indicated by the asterisk sign. So now I can safely delete the branch. Git branch minus delete minus D and the branch name, and then delete. Now I can run the previous command. So this will create a new branch with this name and also switch to that branch. So we can run the git branch command to check in which branch I am in. So here you can see I'm in this particular branch indicated by asterisk. So you can continue with this branch. So let's say if you find that the latest changes which are in the master are creating a problem for you and you have already backed up or created a branch, then you switch back to the branch using the git switch command. So that I'll show git switch and the branch name. So I want to switch to master. I can type switch master, then git branch, and this is the current working branch. Now, if I want to switch back to any branch, same thing, just copy the branch name, git switch, and the branch name. So this way you will switch to the branch that you want. Now I will do Klipper firmware upgrade. For that, I need to ensure that I'm in the master branch. So let me check the branch first. Git branch. So I'm in the branch of this 540 commit, which is also the same as master as of now. So let me first switch. You can continue from the same branch, no problem, but I prefer to switch back to master and proceed from there. Git switch and master. So now I'm in the master branch. Now I'll go back to Mainsail interface and under update manager, first ensure to reload or check for any update. So I will click this button. Now there are a few more updates popped up. So I won't be focusing on the other. So I will only do the Klipper upgrade. You can click on the update button here. Except I understand there is, you have to tick mark here and start update. So the update is done, you can close. Just wait for Klipper to restart after the update. So once the update is done, Klipper firmware will restart. The systemd service will restart and then we can verify. So the update is 557. As you can see, the host is now running on 557, but the MCUs, Toolhead board MCU is on 540 and the main MCU is also on 540. So I need to make sure that the same commit is on both the main MCU and also on the Toolhead board. So I'll be back after I update to the same version. So I will update the Toolhead board and the main MCU to commit 557. Now I'm back after upgrading Klipper on the host, that is with commit 557 on the Toolhead board and also on the main MCU. Now I need to do few test prints to identify if there is any issue with this firmware. If not, then I can stay with the current firmware. So let's say if I found some problem and I want to revert. So this will be easy for me now. I can go to Klipper repository, git branch, and I know that this is the commit that is working for me, that is 540. I have done several prints with this commit without any issue. It's working perfectly fine. So if I have to revert, I can do git switch and the branch name. So this will switch me to the previous commit that was working, which I created a new branch. Once I do this, the first thing I do is to reboot. You can restart the Klipper service, but what I follow is to reboot the operating system. Sudo reboot. And I'll be back after the system is booted. So now it should be started. So let me log in. and then I will log into the Mainsail as well. And here if you see, it is throwing me an error. On the host, I have a low version which is 540 on the MCU, and the toolhead board which is a higher version. So this is failing because the host always should be on a higher version, not a lower version. So I'll be downgrading the host in the toolhead board to the same version as 540. So I'll be back after that. Now I'm back after downgrading the toolhead board and the main MCU to the same version or the same commit 540, 540, and also on the host 540. So the main MCU, the toolhead board, and the host, they are running on the same Klipper commit version. But if you see on the update manager, the Klipper says over here is 557. This is because the update manager, we need to refresh the cache. So we can click on the check for update. So now it says that failed to track remote branch, which is this one, which is okay. So no need to worry on this. As far as the repository, you have verified that you are in the correct branch, which is in Klipper. Git Branch. As far as you know that you are in the correct branch, this is fine. So next we'll do a reboot. So I'll be back after that. So Klipper is started. Let me log in. So everything is back to normal. And now let's say if you want to update to a latest version, see after the downgrade, that is to 540, you want to go and update to the latest version. What you need to do is click on this invalid and then click this hard recovery. So once you do this, your branch will be reset to master. So once that is done, reboot and then update the main MCU. And if you have a toolhead board, update the same as well. So that's all for this video. If you found this video helpful, do like, share and subscribe. God bless and stay safe.